Welcome to another episode of the channel, the podcast. Here today I have my good buddy, my friend, my brother, fellow gearhead, Don Merrill.
Hey, everybody.
So, we're just sitting here talking about what we normally do, cars, guns. But today, we're going to talk about the Camaro SS. Y'all heard about in 2023 they're supposed to be stopping production of the Camaro line. And that threw a lot of people in the loop, especially a lot of GM owners. I think GM quality has really went down as far as keeping up with like your Mustangs and your Dodges as far as what they have to offer. And what do you think about that, Don?
Well, what they have to offer is not the problem. It's the price tag that they're putting on all this stuff. A lot of people don't have $40,000-$50,000 to go spend on a basically a toy. You know, the people that they're selling them to are going to be older, or people who don't have a whole lot of priorities, things that they got to take care of, and that's where they're losing their market.
What do you think about the Hellcat, though? I mean, it's an iconic car. I mean,
it is, but I mean, $70,000 for a car that, let's be honest, is it really that usable?
Okay. So, man, what I'm getting at as far as the GM aspect of things, I'm talking about as far as what the car has to offer is like you can get a Scat Pack 392 for roughly the same price a Camaro SS, and you have a lot more options in that Scat Pack as far as line locks or this in general, this options as far as what your this things you can change or check your RPM settings and stuff. And like for instance, I went and looked at a 2013 ZL1 and I have a 2012 Camaro SS. I didn't feel like I was in something different, even though it has a supercharged LSA supercharger on there, 650 horsepower, roughly 530 at the wheel. But my car is heads and cams on. I'm 490 at the wheel. And when I sat in the side, I felt like I was in my car. Now look at a Hellcat or a Dodge Charger, even a Mustang. Even though my car has more horsepower, completely different type of platform, I feel like I was in something different, a little more nicer. So that's what I was getting at as far as that aspect of things.
Well, GM hasn't really put a lot into their interiors and like their seats. Like Ford's got the heated and cooled seats, and I'm pretty sure Dodge is doing something like that now too. And GM hasn't really gotten into that.
But I think with today's day and age, it's kind of important. It's not like what it was back in the day, like your old Chevy trucks. They're cool.
The problem is Ford and Dodge are putting this stuff out, and it costs the same as buying the Chevy Camaro.
Right.
You know, you're looking at the same price tag, but you're getting more amenities with the Ford and the Dodge. Personally, I think they'd probably sell more if they pull some of those amenities out and just sell the race car. But
that goes with anything as far as even their non-sports cars. If you look at a Dodge Ram and a Silverado and a Ford F-150, in order for you to have the same kind of amenities of comparative, you gotta drive a GMC to get that nicer feel. Dodge, you don't. It kind of comes with it, even from a tradesman level, or on up to the Bighorn, Laramie, or Limited. Even with the Fords, it's just a nicer looking vehicle. Now you got some people out there some say a truck's a truck. A truck's made it work. But now these days, some of your trucks are more nicer than your cars.
Well, that's because the truck has changed. When the truck first came out, that's what it was. It was to work. But they added back seats to it. Now people use it as a daily commuter. They use it to haul their kids to school and stuff like that. So the truck's not just a truck for working anymore. It's also a truck for play. Look at the Ford Raptor, or what's the one from Dodge?
Once again, you gotta pay $60-some thousand for a truck to play with, unless you do what? Have an older truck and you fix it up, but you're still gonna be at price point.
Yeah, you'll hit a price point for sure. But a lot of people buy used cars anyway to fix up because they don't want to deal with void warranties or things like that. Because you buy a Ford Raptor and you do something to the motor, you do something to the exhaust, even you're voiding warranties all over the place.
Exactly.
So,
Like for instance, I was talking to, I think I told you this, that 3.5 liter Ford EcoBoost. With that kit on there, the SPD kit, that came with a downpipe, cold air intake, Corsica exhaust. That thing sounded like a diesel.
well, I helped my wife's car. The show.
Yeah.
That's faster than my Camaro right now. And it's a 4-door family car.
Exactly. So
3.5 liter twin turbo, 350 horse, 350 torque, all-wheel drive.
Yeah. So do you feel like the direction of the car market is going higher, or do you feel like it's going lower, or you're not getting what you should be paying for in that aspect of things?
I have a hard time believing that you're getting what you're paying for. When you're paying $50,000 for a car, you're asking a lot from people.
Exactly.
To get a backup camera, to get all this climate control and all this extra stuff. A lot of people out there don't care about that.
Exactly.
Like me and you. Like if they were to sell the Camaro without all the extra crap, just the V8 motor, the transmission goes fast.
Well, they have that. They got that newer.
But how much do they want for it?
They got that newer Camaro LT that comes factory with the V8 LT1 in it for roughly $30,000. Basically, it's a V6 Camaro package with a V8 in it. That was their way of trying to compete with the Mustang, because you can get a 5.0 Mustang, practically nice vehicle. $30,000.
Yeah. That's what I like about Ford is they still keep their prices pretty low.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel about that.
And the things that Ford's doing with this EcoBoost. Like, yeah, the V8s are nice, and I love the sound of a V8.
Exactly.
But when you can get V8 power out of a V6 in my Taurus, I can get 25 miles to the gallon out of that.
Exactly. I mean, that's just...
Best I've gotten with my Camaro with the AFM actually working, 22, 20.
Yeah. Well, my Camaro hasn't count,
I think I got 11. I was driving your car around the whole weekend.
Yes, it's like I say, you got different type of people. You got people out there that are there for the horsepower, the sound. Like I always told you, I love that cam sound. I love that sound, the engine load.
Well, that's why I bought a Camaro in the first place. Cause I was going to get a Mustang, but I mean, how much does it cost to do that with the overhead cams and all that crap? It was just easier to get a pushrod V8.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Though, like I know we got off subject with a lot of stuff here on this discussion, but this all in all, you gotta put yourself in the mind frame. Are you going for the amenities of comfort and luxury, or bare bones power? And I think that's what GM has been doing for a long time. They didn't really go off to try to baby everything up to where, oh, you got luxury this, luxury that. If you want a luxury this and that, get your GMC.
Well, they didn't, because I mean, you can see that with the Chevy SS when it was out for that short stint. They dropped the ball on that.
Yeah.
Because it was the perfect car.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it wasn't too luxury, but it still had the V8, rear-wheel drive, four doors. But they were asking $50,000 because they had to ship them from Australia.
And another thing of that, too, that Chevy SS is, too, you had to compete with the Charger.
You had to compete with the Charger and the Ford Taurus show, which now you don't have the show to deal with.
Right.
They don't make the Taurus anymore.
And in the Charger, you look at a Chevy SS and a Charger, people out there are more visually drawn to the vehicle, because I'm going to say right now, the Charger looks a hell of a lot better than a Chevy SS does. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. And you're not wrong. Like there's more character to a Charger than there was the Chevy SS.
Right. So if anybody out there what's their opinion on how the car world is going as far as how different automakers are going, the route they're taking, just let us know. Comment on it, on this discussion on that. Even when you're in, like, what about your imports now? I mean, you got like the new Supra that's out. It's basically just a BMW. You have the Hyundai Genesis, which is a beast.
It is
a beast of a vehicle.
Hell, there are even you can pick up like the Alfa Romeo Giulia, the Quadrifoglio, 505 horsepower car, 8-speed automatic, and it is roughly about $60,000.
Right.
And that's a fast car. We drove one a while back when we were looking at trading the show in. But it's Italian, and anybody that knows Italian cars knows that they tend to break down a little bit and they're kind of pricey.
Well, it's like a BMW 5 Series. BMW 5 Series. That car is 500-something horsepower stock. But then again, too, it's a BMW, so anything you buy that's import that's going to have higher maintenance. That's with any kind of, especially a lot of these newer cars.
Well, that's where it pays to know how to work on cars.
Exactly.
Then you're not paying that $120 hourly rate.
Well, the era of your backyard mechanic is gone, per se.
This is true. Not a lot of people like to work on their own stuff now. A lot of kids don't like to get their hands dirty, though.
Well, because that's the way our society is. And we're going to go into another topic there. That's another topic right there for another episode about the way the youth are today. I mean, it's so funny when you look online and you see pictures of these old pictures like in the 30s and 40s where you got a bunch of kids jumping over each other on a bike on a ramp. And
I was one of those kids.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or it'd be nothing to go out there and you'd be out there playing cops and robbers or cowboys and Indians.
Got shot in the face with a BB gun.
Yeah. And now these days you got kids out there that don't want to leave their house. I mean, like my grandfather, he always worked on his own vehicles. Now his old Cutlasses or his Bear Lair or
we were always poor growing up. You had to learn how to work on your own stuff.
Exactly. So
the nature of the beast.
Yeah, exactly. So do I think that the future of the car world is going for the better or for the worse? I'm kind of in the middle. Everything's now, the big thing now is the electric cars, like your Teslas and all of that stuff.
That's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. There's no getting around it. Too many people are complaining and whining. With Elon Musk doing what he's doing, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. And you just got to take it in stride. Who's going to make the better car?
Well, because Ford already released to the public. They released that Mustang Mach-E, supposed to be their fully electric.
I've been looking at it.
Yeah, it's not a bad looking vehicle, but I don't like the idea of them putting the Mustang on a crossover SUV because you just automatically just taking the name. It's like
the Mustang is a muscle car.
Exactly.
Granted, it started out as a secretary's car. If you listen to the old Carroll Shelby and whatnot, he didn't want it to be a muscle car, but it's a muscle car. It's been a muscle car for years, along with the Camaro. You can't turn that into an electric car. Bring another name into the mix.
Well, just like
bring back the Galaxy. The Galaxy would be a great name for an electric car.
Just like the Charger. When they got a Charger, it's always been a two-door car.
It's always been a two-door car until 2008 when they brought it back.
Exactly.
Was it 2008?
Like the GTO.
Yeah.
A GTO is just a souped-up Cavalier, basically. But
pretty much that's what it looked like.
Yeah. Bad A car. Bad A. Was the LS2 in there? Was that in there?
It had the LS1 in the beginning, and then in 2005, I think they switched to the LS2.
Yeah.
The 6-liter.
Still, so I've seen some of these Teslas around. They're nice cars.
Well, I've test drove one.
Yeah.
They're unbelievably fast.
Right.
And
instant torque.
From the things that I've read, it doesn't really. It makes sense for it to be a commuter car in your city because 250-mile range. If you think about it, most people drive around to grocery stores and do their errands and stuff. We spend $200 a month in gas. just gas,
Exactly.
driving around. You can cut that out with a $70. Like it raises your electric bill like $70 a month, give or take. You know, depending on who you have hook it up, I guess.
You know, my Dodge Ram, you drove my Dodge Ram before. I'm spending about $20 every day and a half or 20 to drive back and forth from Terre Haute to Paris to work.
Yeah.
Camaro, probably less than that. Maybe close to that.
I think I put $30 a week in Hannah's car for her to drive to Southside Terre Haute.
Yeah, so yes, I do see the benefits of having an electric vehicle, especially if you do a lot of commuting back and forth. Like for someone like me, that would work out perfectly. You know,
I mean, you could drive to Indianapolis from here.
Right.
There's plugging ports at the mall, everywhere.
There's plugging ports at Walmart.
You could plug in your car while you're there and charge up. Now come
so
back.
Do I think that would be a great option for? Yes, I do.
But I think they still need to keep some V8s around.
Exactly.
Because we're not done with that.
No.
We're not dead yet.
I mean, you still got people that have an old school mentality of big V8s. You know, like I tell somebody I work with, you know, I'm old school. Like my buddy, you know, I'm old school. I love guns, hot rods, and alcohol and women. You know what I'm saying? You know how that's still, but once again, no, like that's just my view, my opinion. I just think everyone has their own opinion on what the way the car world is, and that what that
it's
means.
also a very opinionated time in America.
This exactly, very opinionated.
Everybody's
time.
got an opinion, and they all want to let it out.
So, once again, I'll say thank you to Don for joining in on this podcast. He's gonna be on these podcasts, many more of them, many different topics, very different topics, and try doing what once a week.
Oh, we can do it once a week, twice a week. Whatever you want to do, whenever we have time for.
Yeah. So we know when you're a normal person, normal American, you work, and then Don has a family.
I work 50 hours a week.
Yeah, I do
the Army thing
60,
once a month.
Yeah, you're an Army man. So thank you, Don, for your service to our country. But until the next time, thank you for joining in on this podcast, episode number 3. Once again, you can find me on Facebook, around doing or Terror Jersey, on Instagram, Tekken5, on Twitter, Tekken56. Thank you. Have a good night.